We did a little bit of sabotage when we went to the Netherlands in the middle of winter in 2000. We've done a lot of work with Greenpeace over the years, and they invited us, along with the Worldwide Fund for Nature, to come and be part of the COP6 and the International Climate Change Conference. And while we were there, we did some illegal activities with Greenpeace. It was pretty wild, actually. You know, we sort of had a vague idea that we were going to get arrested if we were caught, but we all dressed up in these red boiler suits with Greenpeace on the front and hopped into a high-speed boat, and it was the middle of winter. It was so cold, it was unbelievable. And as the Koreans were unloading coal off the coal ship, Te Vaka members with helmets, spades and wheelbarrows were busy filling up the coal, putting them in the sacks and racing to the Korean boats and tipping the coal back on the boats to some incredibly bewildered Koreans, I must say, you know, because they weren't going to mess with our boys, because our boys are pretty damn big. And then all of a sudden we get the signal, the police are coming. So we just pack everything up as fast as we can, hop on the boat like high speed, you know, and it was just like absolutely wild.
Oh, what's wrong with your foot?
Well, we'd been invited to go to Poland twice, and I actually didn't realise quite how popular Te Vaka was in Poland. And finally, we made it go right to go there. And we had a show in Germany the night before, and sort of about 1 o'clock in the morning, everybody's in the vehicles and we're on our road to Poland. But we'd had no problems, it was all smooth until we got to the border in Poland. Everything came to a miserable halt. They just said no. They just said absolutely no. And they didn't even speak English. And they took all of our passports and they went to the gate and they said, go. And they just said, this is catastrophe. Yeah, and basically I discovered what was catastrophe was that we didn't have visas. And because I'd been used to travelling through Europe with no visas, and the contract said the visas are the responsibility of the promoter, I assumed that, you know, the promoter in Poland would have organised the visas, but no. So they basically said, that's it, you just can't go. 6 o'clock on the Sunday morning. That wasn't good enough because I'd agreed that Te Vaka was going to perform, we were there, and we were going somehow or another. So I asked to be taken to the boss. So they took me to the boss, and it was just like me, you know, just like me, all by myself. There was all these guys in these military suits with these berets and their machine guns, and they started throwing things and yelling at me. But you know, I was actually hell-bent on the fact that we weren't going anywhere, because, you know, one thing I pride myself on is keeping my word, and I said we were going to perform at this concert, and we were. So I went back to the van, and I didn't really like to tell the band what had happened because, you know, they were really tired. They'd driven all night looking forward to a shower and something to eat. And so I sort of had to, you know, I hadn't had any sleep myself, but I was absolutely wired. It was just like, okay, what do I do now? And I waited, and then I saw a lady, and I thought, a lady? You know, she's going to be a bit more understanding than these Gestapo guys out there. I tried to speak to her. She didn't speak much English, but she came back with somebody else. And this lady could understand a little bit more about what was going on. And a short while later, she came back and she said, oh, we could arrange some visas, it'll cost you. And at that point it was just like, no worries, whatever it costs, I'm going to pay it, you know. The guy standing by the gate was like, he had his head in his hands, he was just like so, he couldn't believe he couldn't get rid of us, you know. He was just like almost gone mad, you know. Here we still were, and he wanted to go home, but we were still there. Anyway, cut a long story short, 6 hours later, we all have visas into Poland, and we're on our way. And it was like, but then we still had more surprises to come, because nobody told us what the motorways in Poland were like. And it was like, imagine travelling on broken concrete for 6 hours. It was just like crazy. You can't go that fast. So we got to the hotel just in time to have a very quick shower, no sleep, straight to the venue. Now the venue was a 13th century castle. It was just the most amazing experience to see what effect the music had on them. We were the last group on. By the time we went on at 1 in the morning, it was pouring with rain. There was mud everywhere, but the whole place was just dancing. They danced from the beginning song right till the end. We were absolutely wasted. The dancers' feet were shattered because they were dancing on solid stone. We were just beyond tired. But the promoters were just like so enthusiastic. And we had to sit in the castle and drink their 6.75% beer or whatever it was, but it's just about finished, everybody, as you can imagine. The experience of it and to see the effect on the people made that whole drama just, you know, you realize why you're doing it, because when you can create that much effect, man, it's exciting stuff.